All right, good night, everybody. Well, I'm what you need. You watching my channel. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget you can donate, subscribe, share the videos to donate. The link is in the description as well as it's in the chat section. You can donate to my channel. You can support this channel because I do not get any money from YouTube. I do not get any money from you, Google. I get strictly from you. By the way, thank you to the subscriber who donated to my channel or whoever donated to my channel today. I want to thank you for that, and you guys can continue to proceed to do so. This is how I can keep on producing content, keep on doing my business, and keep it alive. If you want to jump on here as a guest, you can also do so. The link is also in the chat section, so you guys can check that out. As you can see from the topic of this stream is based on Teofimo Lopez and his next opponent. So the next opponent Teofimo Lopez will be having is Steve Claggett. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Claggett. Yes, I'm as speechless as you. So I decided to go ahead and look up this guy, Steve Claggett, see what this guy's about, and I just wanted to go into it and see where we're at. You know, this guy's calling out guys like Jerome Ennis. He's calling out guys like Terrence Crawford. Speaking about, he needs $220 for to face Devin Haney, saying that Ryan Garcia's outpricing himself, and then he goes and faces Steve Claggett. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it because it's very important we get into this, okay? So we got something more. We got something more for you guys. So don't worry. Now, for those of you who are on here, that's going to be breaking news. I'm going to give you some other breaking news just for the sake of it. But if you stay with what you need, we're going to stay there. But we can't stay too long on this. I'm talking too much. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, who is this guy, Steve Claggett, right? Well, let me show you. Talk is cheap. Let's just show you, right? This is Steve Claggett. Okay. Steve Claggett is 38-7. He's had 45 fights. He's been knocked out once, and he has 26 KOs. Okay, Steve Claggett. Steve Claggett, if I'm to read for you guys, he's actually from Canada. He's a Canadian. I don't know if we're allowed to. He's Canadian. I think you guys can see that there. He's from Alberta, Canada. He's 5'8" with a 78 reach. He's 34 years of age. And he has a knockout ratio of 68.42%. Who has Steve Claggett faced? Well, Steve Claggett's faced nobody. No one that we know, at least. But I have some footage of him facing a gentleman named Miguel Madueno, who he fought last year, November of last year. He had one more fight since last year, which was a fight. One more fight since then. In January, the 25th of January, he fought somebody named Marcos Gonzalez Barraza. And in what month are we in now? January, February, March. In April the 11th, he'll be facing some guy named Mike Ohan Jr. So he's been fighting pretty regularly. I'm not sure where exactly he's been fighting. I believe it's in Mexico. No, actually, he's been fighting in Montreal. His last fight was in Montreal. His next fight will be in Montreal, Canada. Okay. Now, how's he ranked? I mean, maybe he's a mandatory for Teofimo Lopez. Maybe he's just facing a mandatory, right? So let's have a look at that. Maybe that's what's going on, right? So I went into the WBO rankings here. So the WBO rankings here, right? See, it's the WBO. You guys can see. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. Right. So as you can see, these are the WBO rankings here. And you can see Valdez, no WBO interim junior lightweight champion. All right, let's scroll up. You know what that says? Oscar Valdez they're talking about there. So we're looking at the junior welterweight division as of February 2024. Here are the WBO rankings for that. Hold on a second. Let me do like this, I guess. Yeah. So here are the current World Boxing Organization male rankings February 2024. I think you guys can't see it right now. It's kind of hard to see because of the fucking lighting. Try to move so you guys can see the lighting here. Try and move the camera so the fucking thing will stop being so glaring. There you go. There you go. All right. So there are the rankings. Teofimo Lopez is the super champion at the WBO, and the number one contender is Arnold Barboza Jr. The number two contender is Carlos Jose Ramirez. Number three is Richardson Hitchens, who's the NABO champion. Number four, Sandor Martin, who already faced Teofimo Lopez. Number five, Josh Taylor, who also faced Teofimo Lopez. Number six, Jack Catterall. Let me scroll down a little bit more here for you guys. Okay, let me move down. Number seven is Elvis Rodriguez. Number eight is Sean McComb. Number nine is Liam Parrow. Number 10 is Nestor Bravo. Number 11 is Jermaine Ortiz. Number 12 is Gabriel Golas Valenzuela. And number 13 is Steve Claggett. So we can't even say that Teofimo Lopez is facing a mandatory, right? Stephen Claggett is the 13th possible contender. He's not even in the top 10. He's the 13th possible contender to face Teofimo Lopez. So he's not even a mandatory. Now, this news was broken. Was it today or yesterday? I believe this is yesterday. Is it yesterday or is this today? What's the date? This news was broken to yesterday. Yesterday, Mike Coppinger broke this news. Teofimo Lopez and Steve Claggett are finalizing a deal for June 19th fight in Miami for Lopez junior welterweight title, sources told ESPN. Lopez is coming off a disputed win over Jermaine Ortiz in February. Lopez wasn't happy with Ortiz's movement and now gets a pressure fighter. So I assume Lopez requested this, and he's got this guy who's a pressure fighter, Steve Claggett. I'm going to show you who Steve Claggett looks like and what his fighting style looks like. So here is Steve Claggett fighting. Steve Claggett's the guy in the brownish, goldish looking thing. And the guy with the beard, he's his opponent. As you can see, Steve Claggett is a pressure fighter, like they said. But he's not. He has no substantial power, necessarily speaking. Just a Mexican fighter coming forward against the other guy. Now, I do all of this and I give you all this information so that you guys would see this is what the sport of boxing is about. And this is the same thing I just talking to you guys about. Cap versus real fighters. Cap versus real fighters. Oh, there's some of you guys in the comments talking. Let's see what Mouse DKM says. Steve is a dangerous fighter. Beat a few former world champs, ranked in the top 15 in all four major promotions. Bruh, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. This is the guy who is not giving Barboza his shot at the title. This is the guy who's calling out welterweights when he's not even in the welterweight division, trying to get fights with them instead of facing guys in his own division. So I don't want to hear that shit. Okay, I just showed you who Steve Claggett is. He ain't faced nobody. So don't tell me about no former world champions. Don't tell me that bullshit. Don't be bullshitting me. Because I don't see no former world champions on his resume. I'm not finished with y'all. He beat the only guy that beat Mateus. Man, shut up. Mateus don't knock out that guy. He beat Albert Machado, former world champ. Man, shut the fuck. Man, we don't give a damn. Is Claggett any good? No, he's not any good. He's a pressure fighter. He gets hit. This is for Teo to look good, to get his confidence back, for losing the fight against Jermaine Ortiz. See, you know when somebody lost a fight and they need their confidence back. Hold on a second. I'm not done. I'm not done at all. It's a stupid thing. Pull it up. Okay, there you go. You want to see the replies that people said on Twitter? This is a reply. A guy on Twitter said, "Nigga, please." All right. He also said, "We watching Bam versus Gallo," which, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? On that same day, June the 29th, we're going to have Juan Francisco Estrada, a.k.a. Gallo, facing Jesse Bam Rodriguez. That's a hell of a fight. That's the difference between cappers and real fighters. That's going to be on DAZN. So this crap's going to be on ESPN. Meanwhile, on DAZN, and DAZN is killing it, by the way. They're killing it because they covering also the stuff in Saudi Arabia. We getting real fights on DAZN. So y'all can cap, and Moose, DKM, I don't even care who you are. You can cap for Teofimo Lopez. But at the end of the day, after you finish capping, the real fight is going to be this. If you guys want to talk about this fight, I'm here for that. I'm not here for cap. This is cap. This is crap. This is nonsense. This is buffoonery. This is stupidity. This is the problem with boxing. This. Now, y'all want to say, well, Teofimo Lopez is giving Steve Claggett a shot at the title. Okay, but he can't give Devin Haney. He can't give Subriel Mateus. He can't give Rolly Romero. He can't give Ryan Garcia. He can't give Richardson Hitchens. He can't give his mandatory Arnold Barboza. Cap. And we thought, and y'all feel that Teo's all about it. Oh, he'd be all about it. Yeah, he fought some good fighters. But he's also capping. How many of y'all gonna pay money to see that stupid fight? How many of you gonna waste your dollars to watch that fight? How many of you gonna watch that fight and defend that fight like let me see what this guy's name is. Mouse DKM. How many of y'all gonna watch that fight because of Mouse DKM says you should watch that fight? That's the nonsense with boxing. We put up with too much foolishness. Now, say Teofimo Lopez goes and faces Devin Haney, or he goes and faces any one of the top 140 pounders. Of course, you can have that fight after. But we know he needs a confidence booster because the fool just said that he was disappointed with how Jermaine Ortiz ran, so he's going to bring a pressure fighter in, showing me that you limited as a fighter. You saying to us that you're limited as a fighter. You look like a fool in the face of boxing fans. You look like a fool. This is the kind of nonsense we have to deal with in boxing. So I'm going to choose to watch this fight over this fight. Over this fight? Are you serious? Absolutely not. I'm going to watch. Obviously, this is the fight to watch. And this is buffoonery to boost some guy's confidence back up because he knows he lost the fight before. Now, if what you need is wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Anybody who want to tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. So people are saying, well, Teo will be bringing out an unknown fighter. No, there's something called meritocracy. There's something called meritocracy. I don't want to hear that stupidness. I don't want to hear that. You gonna face the 13th. You gonna face the 13th fighter when there's a fighter that worked his way into the top position. Arnold Barboza Jr. You won't face him, and he was at top rank. He moved to the zone. You won't. He moved to Matchroom. He moved to Golden Boy. You don't want to face him for whatever reason. You don't want to face him, but you're gonna face the 13th. You ain't gonna face Richardson Hitchens. You won't face Jose Carlos Ramirez. You won't face you face Sandor Martin. He whooped your ass. You face Josh Taylor. You beat him. You never face Jack Catterall. He's facing Josh Taylor. You ain't gonna face Liam Parrell. You face Jermaine Ortiz. He whooped your ass. You're gonna face Steve Claggett. See, this is the buffoonery of boxing. This is what gets me mad. This is the stupidity of boxing. This is what gets me mad. You won't face Arnold Barboza, the number one, you're mandatory basically, the number one fighter, the number one contender in your division. You're going to go 13. You're going to bypass 12 fighters to go to the 13th fighter. To face a 13th fighter because he suits a style that can make you look good. This is what's the problem with boxing. So no, I don't want to see that fight. It's a waste of my time. That's a waste of your time. And that's just to boost some guy's ego. Juan Francisco Estrada versus Jesse Bam Rodriguez. That's the fight for the night. I'm what you need. You've been watching my channel. As you can see from my emojis, I was surprised. I was watching out the whole thing, and then it got me mad. It got me angry. Why is a high caliber fighter facing a lowly ranked fighter when there are higher ranked fighters to face? I'm what you need. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good one. Don't forget that you can support this channel. And then we have some obscure fan out of maybe a fan of Claggett coming in here to justify an atrocity that's being committed. Arnold Barboza cannot get the top fights even though he's in the position to face top fighters. He has positioned himself to face the best, but he can't get a shot at the best. This is the foolishness in boxing. And anybody defending this foolishness, you're responsible for why the sport is the way it is. All right. I'm what you need. I'm going to get out of here. I have other things to do with my time. You guys can support this channel once again by donating to it. The link is there. I can give y'all 1 minute to jump on here. And if you want to jump on here as a guest and join me in the chat and or in the guest area and talk it up. As for Moose DKM, you must be a fan of Steve Claggett and been following his career. And you may be jumping in joy for the opportunity, but he's bypassing Arnold Barboza. He's bypassing Richardson Hitchens. He's bypassing Jose Ramirez. He's getting an opportunity he did not work for and he did not deserve. There is a line. You can't skip the line to get to the top. That's all I got to say. I'm what you need. Anybody have anything to say? I'm waiting. The minute is almost up. I'm gonna leave here in 20 minutes. When it meets the 20-minute mark, I'm out of here. But that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to show the evidence. I wanted to prove to you guys the foolishness that goes on in boxing and why what some of these boxers say, we just don't listen. It's cap. They just capping. They run in their mouth. And today there's a lot of people bold enough to speak as a duck out here. to publicly, boldly duck other fighters. Canelo's one of them. Teo is one of them. That boldly duck people. Shakur, he's been on the duck campaign as well. Talk a lot, just a lot of this. And then when you look at what Shakur's facing, he's gonna be facing one of the leftovers. And it's not like the leftovers are lucrative or anything. He's just gonna face a leftover because he has to face a leftover. At least, Haney's facing Gervonta Tank Davis leftover, which is lucrative. At least it's gonna make some money for him. Tank's leftover, at least it's gonna make some money for Devin Haney. And Devin Haney has faced Tank's leftovers twice now. This is gonna be the second time. Remember Gamboa, sorry. Tank first faced Gamboa, and then Devin Haney faced his leftovers. Right? Let's not forget that. But if you're going to take a leftover, at least let it work for you. Man. Disappointing. All right. I'm out of here. I'm what you need. Peace, everybody.